I never felt such peace in my life. I didn't realize how low my life was or how shallow I was living my life until I felt great. I just didn't know. I was diagnosed in August of 2023 with cervical cancer and pancreatic cancer. The treatment plan was to remove 3/4 of my pancreas, my spleen, just because it was the neighboring organ, all of my lady parts, ligaments, and the side effects were obvious. 1/4 of my pancreas, I would have been diabetic. All of the cervical part of it, with the ligaments being removed, there was a chance that I could be incontinent at times. Maybe not, but maybe. I was concerned, obviously, about being diabetic. So I left that meeting very just shocked. How I found Dr. Joe's work, went to YouTube. How to cure cancer with your mind is what I Googled on YouTube. I read all of his books, You Are the Placebo, all of them. And by the end of September, early October, I had another meeting with the doctors to set up the appointments, to do further testing, to get ready to do the surgery, because my family was very, and my husband too really wanted me to go through with it. They said, hopefully, if they removed all of those parts, I wouldn't have to do radiation or chemo. For me, my family was like, oh, that's great news. And for me, I was so devastated. My family, I'm like, what? Very hard for me to understand how that was great news for them. So by then I was already the third booking of Dr. Joe's. And what the turning point for me was the science was there. I just felt like, if other people did this, I can do this too. And so I started doing his meditations, doing them in the morning, doing them at night. Sometimes I would just fall asleep with them when I understood my subconscious mind could still be taking in information even when I was sleeping. And by Christmas time, my tumors had started to shrink. So I was super excited. I had signed up for my surgery on and off 3 different times. And finally, the last surgery I canceled was November 22nd. 2 days before the surgery. The pressure from my family was so intense and so upsetting that I had a hard time. I didn't want to talk to anybody else about it because everybody thought I was crazy when I was making decisions that I was not going to do the surgery. It was the most profound event of my life. I opened my heart. I cried every day. I bawled my eyes out every day. Something happened. And then I was a healer. And after the first healing, I knew. I just sat there and I just held my heart and I knew something had happened for me. I went home. The first thing my husband said to me, hugging, and, by then he had started to accept it a little bit more. And he said, you look different. He goes, I don't know what happened. He goes, but you look different to me. And I just said, I know I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. This is okay. And I found out in March that I was cancer-free. Both tumors were gone. I think the biggest transformation for me was when I opened my heart. My son committed suicide, and all of this stuff was just stuck in there. It was really those meditations, I think, that really changed it for me. Was I never felt such peace in my life. I would never go back, and I would never not have the cancer. Honestly, I didn't realize how low my life was or how shallow I was living my life until I felt great. I just didn't know, because that's the way I had spent my whole life. From one trauma to the next, and I didn't really know what it was like to be free, to be light, to love life, and to look forward to it.